Okay, so today we're going to go over how to use the beams with a half-bridge circuit. So you'll need the half-bridge completion unit, the clamp, the beam itself, a weight set, USB to DAC connector, the RJ50 cable to connect the completion kit to the DAC itself, a screwdriver. You will also need a caliper so that you can measure the dimensions of the beam. So the first thing you'll notice when you come into the lab is that you have your beam already clamped to the table with a clamp, and then you have your completion unit already taped to the desk. Do not take the beam off or remove the completion kit or the clamp. Leave it as exactly set up. Do not unscrew the wires. You'll get a 0 if you remove the beam from the table or if you remove the completion unit from the table itself. Now, to use the system, the first thing you'll need to do is connect the strain gauges. This will already be done for you, but if not, you will put 2 leads of the 2 strain gauges together in number 2, one of the other leads in number 7, and the other strain gauge lead in number 6. So 2 leads together of the strain gauges on number 2, and screw it tight. One of the leads go to 6, and one of the other leads go to 7. Now, when you're collecting data, if you're getting negative strain, then you need to flip the 7 and the 6. So you switch the wire from 7 to 6 and the wire in 6 to 7. So you'll get good results. And you'll notice that on the completion kit, it's got an RJ50 port. So what you do is you connect one cable to the RJ50 port, and then the other end to the AI0 port on the DAC. So the 0 port is right here. So I go ahead and connect it there. Then I take my USB cable for it and I connect it to the USB cable, and then I take the other end of the USB cable and connect it to the computer. So that's how you connect the bar. So again, you have your bar clamped to the desk here. Do not remove it or you'll get a 0 for the lab. And the strain gauges are hooked up to a completion kit, which then hooks up to the DAC using an RJ50 cable, and then it's hooked up from USB to the DAC to the computer. So now that you have it hooked up, the DAC hooked up to the computer, hooked up to the beam, what you need to do next is you need to actually use the beam. To do that, you first calibrate the circuit in LabVIEW once you have everything connected. Then you see these 3 eye hooks we have predefined here. You'll just hang the weights in the eye hooks, collect your data, and get Young's modulus. And you do it for all 3 locations, because those are the 3 locations you're using. And then, once you're done with that, that's pretty much how you do it. You'll calculate Young's modulus directly in LabVIEW when you hang the weight. If you're getting values that aren't in the range that's specified by the TA, then try recalibrating your strain gauge. If that doesn't work, check your dimensions of your thickness and your width of your bar, and also the distance from the center of your strain gauge to the location of you hanging your weights. If that's not working, then talk to your TA and we'll figure it out, the troubleshooting from there. But most cases, it's just the calibration or the dimensions of the bar or the distance between the point at which you're hanging the mass and the strain gauge. And that's how you use the strain gauge bar for this lab. Again, do not move the bar itself that's clamped to the table or the Whetstone bridge completion kit or unscrew the wires. If you do, you'll get a 0.